world? Austin Lewis here, coming to you guys live. We're not really live. Bryson was laughing at that. Speaking of that, go follow my man Bryson on Instagram. His tag is gonna be right here. Smash, smash. I like how you do that, bro. And then of course, follow the man, the myth, at the Austin Lewis on Instagram. And if you haven't already, make sure and go subscribe. Make sure and like this freaking video. Comment what you guys would like to see in future videos. YouTube actually just demonetized me because of some content and stuff. So I got some haters, and one of them might be YouTube, but I love YouTube. So we're gonna continue to come with you guys with free value. So hopefully you guys enjoy. So stay tuned for this entire video. As you guys saw in the thumbnail, in this video, I'm literally gonna just share with you guys my entire story. Like, I'm gonna go with you. We're gonna pop up a lot of screenshots. I'm gonna share with you guys my trials, my tribulations, you know, when I got started, how I got started. It might be a lot of questions. I'm telling you right now, like this story, and I promise you, if you just last a half hour, if you don't have a half hour right now, come back to this video, because I truly believe you'll leave better than when you showed up, and I can almost guarantee that. Because, you know, my story is really my glory, right? And I think I got a lot of, you know, knowledge for the average person, or the above average person with, you know, big goals and big dreams, and maybe just an average person that just works a 9 to 5. That's okay too. I got a lot of information for you guys as well. You know, and those entrepreneurs that are just getting started, or maybe you've been an entrepreneur for a while. Maybe you've followed me for a while. You've never seen my story. You've never heard of my story. This is kind of a perfect video. I want this to be super raw. I want this to be super amazing. I want this to obviously drop a lot of value for you guys to get a lot of value from this. And you know, I posted a thing on my Instagram the other day that was, you know, what would you guys like to see in future videos? And honestly, a lot of it was my story, right? So I'm just gonna kind of drop it down for you guys. You know, I grew up in a regular average home, you know, and I'll literally show you guys a picture of the house that I grew up in. You know, three car garage. My dad had a boat, cost him 10 grand. You know, my mom was a probation officer. My dad worked for the road department. So, you know, very average and normal parents. You know, we lived a very average and normal life. I couldn't buy extra toys when I went to the store. My parents always just said no, but it wasn't, you know, out of the lack of money. It was just the fact of where the money was actually being spent. You know, I always knew that I wanted more. I always knew that I could have more. I mean, maybe some of you there are there, and you're like, man, you know, I'm living in an average home. My parents, you know, are telling me to go to school, get a degree, get a good job, and work for benefits, and you know, go to the security route, go to the safe route, go do what everybody else is doing. And I didn't want to hang out with the chickens. I wanted to be the eagle, right? And so I always knew that. I always had that driving force, but I never knew how. You know, I didn't know anything about entrepreneurship because I wasn't raised in a family that knew anything about entrepreneurship. You know, every single person in my family literally went to college. Every single person in my family all actually went out and got jobs. And so, you know, growing up, I went to this meeting actually, and I had the opportunity to do one of two things. I could either, one, go to a party, it was like a Thursday night, or two, I have the opportunity to actually go to an event with one of my mentors. What I seen as a mentor, you know, he was actually one of my good friends' dads. I showed up to his house one day, and the house was the size of my mom's neighborhood. Like, literally, my mom's neighborhood was the size of this man's house. And again, I've never seen a house like this. Like, I've never been introduced to this. I've never just had friends that were super freaking wealthy. And so, you know, again, a thought in motion continues in motion unless it's acted upon by an outside force. My mind was completely blown in the fact that you could literally have a house the size of my mom's neighborhood. And so, you know, I was always really curious, but yet I was always very, you know, pulled back because I was very scared. I was very intimidated, is really the right word, because of how wealthy this guy was. You know, he had the Ferraris, he had the jets, he had the penthouses, you know, had the wife, had the kids, just amazing life, traveled like 6 months out of the year to insane places. And so I was very set back. So I never actually asked him what he did. And so, you know, I actually ended up going to this event where I shook the hands of people that were 20, 30, 40 years old that were making $20, $30, $40,000 a month passively, residually, right? And I had no idea what residual income was at the time. And if you still don't, maybe we can make another video on why I recommend passive income, why I recommend residual income. I truly believe it's the greatest income you could ever make. And I make a lot of different incomes, but the passive and the residual side is my favorite side. And so, you know, I went to this meeting, and again, a thought motion continues in motion that's acted upon by an outside force. I had no idea how I was going to get wealthy. I had no idea how I was going to break the barrier, how I was going to be different from what my parents' life was. Again, my parents didn't live a bad life. I just didn't want to live like them, right? And so, you know, just getting started in this entire thing, I left that meeting initially not wanting to sign up, not wanting to get started, but I left that meeting signing up. I didn't sign up in that meeting, but I got started in a different one, actually with an entirely different company. And how I ended up doing that is I actually asked my mom for her credit card. I asked for gas. This was when I was 15 years old. I wasn't even legal to have a business. And I went to some woman's house, and this woman's house had an event. That night, I saw the vision. I knew right then and there I was going to be an entrepreneur because I had went to that meeting previously, and I signed up. It was like $750 that I put on my mom's credit card. I didn't think the creditors would, like the credit card company would call her right away saying, hey, this might be fraud. You don't usually spend $750 at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night. And, that's what I thought. But yet they called him right away. They called her right away. My mom was extremely pissed. I ended up going home that night and just telling her I got started in this business. I actually put the business in her name. I put it in her tax ID, and I started getting to work. My first check in that business was actually $2.43. I remember it like it was yesterday. If you've heard my story before, you guys have definitely heard me say that before. $2.43. I was so excited when I got that check. I literally went to my mom and said, Mom, I got this look at this check. I got this check. I got paid for this company. How I got a $2.43 check is I actually sold a brochure that was like $8 or $7 from the company. They literally just brought a brochure on it. And that's how I earned that $2.43 check. But that $2.43 check, what my mom saw was the $2.43 check. But what I saw was if I can make $2.43, I can make $243. If I can make $243, I can make $2,430. If I can make $2,430, I can make 240 grand. If I can make 240 grand, I can make 2.4 million. If I can make 2.4 million, I can make 2 billion. That's literally what my mentality was when I saw that check. That's where it all started. That's literally where it all started. But of course, my mom didn't see it like that. She told me I'm grounded. She'd go to my room. I did exactly that. My mom's Irish, so you listen to that woman. And so, I built that business for 4 years. And the crazy part is I actually never made any real money. And again, right here, I'll literally show you pictures of, I literally went to event after event after event after event, traveling the cities, traveling the world, going to events. And some people are like, Austin, you never really made any money. I never made more than $1,000 in 1 month. And the money that I did make, I put right back into the business. I reinvested into myself for 4 years, right? At this time, guys, you got to understand, I was 15 going on to 19. At that time, we were graduating high school. All of my parents' friends were like, hey, what is Austin doing with his life? He's not showing up to basketball games anymore. He's not showing up to football games. They'd say, oh, he's traveling for his business and things like that. They would literally, my parents would literally get humiliated because I was doing something that nobody was ever used to. Nobody was ever, that wasn't a thing, right? Most kids were getting ready to go to college. Most kids were going out and working for Jimmy John's. Most kids were going out and getting the Pizza Hut jobs. Most kids were going to work at the mall, going to work at H&M, going to work at Dillard's. You know what I'm saying? And so I was doing the complete opposite, and all I was doing was really traveling. Like, that was my lifestyle. I had a lot of people, a lot of friends that didn't believe in me, didn't think that I could make it, didn't think that I could do it, and that's just something they weren't used to, right? But again, my parents were so supportive. Like, that's one thing I truly do have, is I have very supportive, parents. My parents never knew what entrepreneurship was. She never knew anything about my mentor. She didn't even know what kind of business I'm in, but my mom always supported me. So God bless her for that. But, they didn't really, like, my dad still asks me today when I'm going to get a real job, right? I'm just joking. But now I take the cat to El Jefe. Now I fly him out to Arizona. Now I take him to the NASCAR races. Now I take him to the football games. I'll slap up some pictures here, to the Seahawks and the Cardinals games. This is him and I at one of the Cardinals games. I literally flew him out here and took him to the game. Sat in some pretty insane seats, and it was pretty freaking cool. Because again, it's no longer about the money; it's just about the experiences and the things. Because that, seeing him smile and him screaming at that game is worth more than any dollar that I've ever made in my entire life. I was going through high school. I was graduating high school, and my parents, always were super supportive. And then it kind of came time after 4 years of building my business. They were like, okay, Austin, when are you actually going to get a job? Or like, when are you going to start doing something? Are you making money? Like, I never told them anything financial, but again, this entire time the business was in my mom's name. I was spending the money, so I was getting the tax write-offs, and she was at the end of the year, after a couple of years, she was paying the taxes that I made in the business. Again, it wasn't a lot of money. I mean, in total, maybe like 15 grand over 4 years. Might not even have been that high. Probably like 10 grand in 4 years at this business, but every single dollar that I put, I reinvested into the business. I made sure I showed up to every seminar. I made sure I showed up to every single Super Saturday. I made sure on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I was there. I was present, because there was that one thing that was gonna change my life. There was that one advice, that one tip that was gonna change my life. And so, 4 years went by. I actually ended up leaving that company because I was doing it solely for the purpose of money. I was not doing it for the purpose of actually having a purpose. And for a month, I was in a mental zone. I was still living at my parents' house at 19 years old. I was in a mental zone of I gotta get ready to launch a business, right? I listened to this guy named Holton Buggs. Highly recommend him. He's made millions of dollars inside of network marketing. And I just listened to his audio over and 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 over again. I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired. I knew that I was worth it. I kept lying to myself that I was worth it. I kept lying to myself that I was going to be a multiple six-figure earner. I kept lying to myself that I was going to be a millionaire. I kept lying to myself that I was going to speak on stages in front of thousands upon thousands of people. And when have you guys ever noticed that when you ever end up lying to yourself so many times that you end up just believing in yourself, right? And that's exactly what happened. I ended up believing in myself that I was speaking on stages. I ended up believing in myself that I was going to be making 6 and 7 figures. I ended up believing myself that I was worth it. I ended up believing myself that I was going to go out there and inspire the world. And I got started my next business. I actually became one of the youngest top earners in the company at a very short amount of time. By age 21, I was technically considered a 6-figure earner. Building teams of thousands upon thousands of people. At that time, again, I had no real actual mentor. I had no person that was like, hey, Austin, maybe you should pack some money away. But every dollar that I made, I ended up actually spending. And then there was months at a time that I actually was making more money than I even knew what to do with. And I would just spend it on bottles. I would spend it on plane tickets, traveling, and doing different things like that. And not reinvesting any of it into my business. I was looking at people more like they were a dollar sign. And again, that always ends up catching up to you, right? I truly believe that whatever you do today is 90 days out. Some days it's 60 days, and some days it's 5 months, some days it's 6 months. But I ended up actually losing all of my money. I had people inside my organization. This was network marketing. I had people inside my organization that actually left me, quit, to go to a different organization or go to a different company because of the leader that I was, because I was not actually leading. And I became super self-centered, super egotistical. I had a really big ego and a really little bank account. And I thought I was the crap. I put my head down, and I think that was one of the lowest points in my actual life. I was living in a penthouse in Arizona. I had moved to Arizona. I was living in a penthouse. I was making all of this money. I was traveling the world. I was spending money on bottle service and things like that. And I came to realize really quickly on what I wanted to do, and I got back into that business, and I got into that same company, and I rebuilt it back up. I was making more money than I knew what to do with, and again, it all happened. Same exact thing. You'd think, Austin, why wouldn't you learn it from the first time? But honestly, I have no idea. I have no idea why I didn't learn from the first time, and I started treating people as terribly as I did the first time, and it happened again. I lost it all, and that's kind of when I took a step back, and my good friend actually introduced me to a religion called Christianity. I became really heavily into my faith. And again, I'm not getting religious with you guys whatsoever, but I'm just kind of sharing with you guys what's worked for me. Became religious. Started giving it to obviously the man upstairs, right? And became super humbled. So getting super involved in my faith, and again, coming from a kid that's never actually been to church. My parents never told me to go to church. My parents never took me to church. Never in my entire life did I ever go to church. And so I started following that, started diving deep into that, and I remember it was my friend, obviously, as you guys know, Austin Zabak. We're sitting in a room, and this room, he had a little 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment at the time, and this was years ago. I was 20. I mean, it's crazy. It wasn't actually like insanely long ago. I was 21 years old, and I'm 24 now. I was 21 years old, and at this time, we actually co-founded this company called The Legacy Marketing. A Legacy Marketing was, a marketing company that specializes in Instagram growth. And at the time, I was super involved in things I was doing. Also was super involved in the businesses that he was doing. Him doing real estate and crushing it, and me doing all of these side things. We never really had any time. to build a business legacy. We knew it was a great idea. We knew it was something we wanted to do. At this time, we were building into our personal brands. At this time, we were building our Instagrams and social credibility. I want to say probably 6 months later, I repicked it up personally. I got the business to $10,000 a month in less than 60 days. Austin and I were on our drive back from California, and we literally looked at each other. We said, hey, let's partner on a legacy again. Let's make this thing a multi-million-dollar a year company. Let's literally inspire the world. And we literally did exactly that. So literally in this video, you're gonna see, or in this picture, you're literally gonna see Austin and I. We actually literally got a penthouse. We started absolutely murdering the game. A legacy was absolutely crushing it. We had over 800 affiliates with us. We had thousands of affiliates with us, but at this time, we only had, at this time in this penthouse, and here's a picture of Austin and I, we literally had probably 200 affiliates that were pushing our service, and here's a screenshot of literally every single day. This is the Stripe notifications Austin had obviously on our phone. This was most insane. We were making more money in a day than most people literally make in a month. I'm talking, there was days that we were doing 4 or 5 grand, 6 grand in a day. Having affiliates fulfilling, we had our employees actually at our penthouse. We had like 16 car spots in total over time because we had so many people coming to the office and working and everything, we got kicked out of our USA bank, or our US bank building, because somebody bought out the 31st floor, which was our original office. And we had a blast, and Austin and I kind of said, hey man, it's kind of moved, we outgrew the penthouse. Let's get an office. So we literally went searching for offices, and we found the Optima. And this is our office that we actually ended up renting. This office was 600 square feet, and we decided that this is where our legacy was going to be held in. This is a picture of me inside of our office with my legacy sweatshirt, and we got to work. This was a time where Austin and I could kind of come together and have an office. We ended up renting an apartment here at the Optima as well. So it made it super convenient to come down and work into our office. And so, at this time, we actually got shut down. We actually got shut down in the month of December. Because obviously Stripe, for those of you that are entrepreneurs that know, we ended up getting some chargebacks because we had a couple thousand customers, not a lot of employees, not a lot of fulfillment because we fired all our employees and such, and so we ended up actually getting shut down. Austin and I were actually in Bali when this happened. Here's a picture of that. Here's a video of us popping bottles and doing insane things and amazing things, and we got shut down. Austin and I had absolutely no idea what to do, how to do it, or anything like that. We were super, sick to our stomachs, but yet we were making more money than we knew to do it. So we were literally partying our brains out, and we ended up getting a payment processor set up. At the time we had lost 1,500 customers on a monthly basis. So 1,500 customers, it was at, like, our average price was like $150. So you guys can do the math yourself. And we lost it all. And him and I just went back to the drawing board. We didn't let that discourage. Our thing was, for every one customer that fell off, we ended up getting 5 more. That was just literally our motivation. That's what we did, and that's what we were super good at as well. We restarted a legacy back up in the month of December. We had a couple of top affiliates at the time working with us, and we brought it back up to well over 1,000 customers in literally just a few short months. Like, I want to say less than 60 days, we had over 1,000 customers. And back to that, and again, we ended up actually outgrowing our current office. Outgrew our current office, as you guys can see. Austin and I look at each other one day, and at this time we had started multiple different companies. Multiple different companies, and I'm talking cashier houses, I'm talking capital ATMs, and here's a couple of businesses that we started previously. We had our golf cart limousine company. We had our exotic car rental company. And so at this time, Austin and I kind of look at each other, and we kind of push forward with our 3 businesses, which is obviously a legacy. We push forward with cashier houses, A&A Development, which is a real estate company, and then we also push forward with capital ATMs. And he said, hey, we looked at each other, we were like, we need a bigger office. And at the time at the Optima, there was a fairly large office, almost 5,000 square foot office, that one of our good friends actually was renting, older guy. And he was a cryptocurrency company, and they actually ended up getting shut down. So, I truly believe in fate, and everything happens for a reason. I bugged this guy for months to potentially move into his office, and he was never interested in it because they were making more money than they knew what to do with. And we actually ended up closing on his office, buying out all of his furniture, buying him out, and then we moved into this office right here, close to 5,000 square foot office. Austin and I literally came together and we put our heads down and started working and doing everything like that. And then through the great divine, we had a lot of people leave us. We had a lot of people that we wanted to let go, just because we truly believe we're all about purpose rather than having the purpose be money, right? So if you guys take anything away from this entire thing, we've made it all, we've lost it all, we've done it multiple different times. We've had amazing people come into our life, we've had amazing people leave our life. Just staying completely faith-based and understanding that we're on a mission to literally change the world, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And so here we are now, obviously sitting in my my room. Bryson thought it was a solid vibe, so we'll see how this is. But it's kind of crazy looking back at everything. The ups and the downs of the entrepreneurship game and being an entrepreneur and can I do this? Can I not do this? I look at myself a year ago, being 155 pounds, and a year later, there was a time and point that I was 200 pounds. Now, obviously, I'm starting my weight loss journey and starting that whole thing and having amazing people come into our life and getting super structured and super, systematized in our businesses has changed the entire game for us. I couldn't be more excited. Now we have incredible things coming down the lines, coming down what we have, especially with our office going on and everything. And so, I'm not going to we have a sneak peek about that, but I'm not going to share with you guys what we're doing with our office. It is actually going to change the game. It's going to be one of the biggest things we've ever done in our entire business career. And again, Austin and I have started a dozen businesses over the time. It's been insane, traveling the world, Paris, renting Lamborghinis and Ferraris. There's a picture of that. To Austin and I in Mexico popping bottles. There's a picture of that, and to being in traveling the world and gaining a bunch of experiences and speaking on stage in front of thousands of people. And there's a video of that. It's been insane. It's been really insane. I'm excited, if you guys can't tell, and extremely humbled at this time, and just here to impact the world. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. That is kind of the Austin Lewis story. Drop in the comments below what you guys would like to see in future videos. Drop below what you guys liked in this video, what you guys would like to see in future videos. Like I said before, make sure and give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are. Again, if you haven't already, make sure and connect with me on Instagram. And we'll see you guys in some future videos.